A very good morning to one and all. Today is the ninth successive day of Imprint, a 10 days online soft skills short-term course, a 30 hours program under I2AC's value added courses, jointly organized by the six cluster institutions Manoharrao Kamdi Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, Seth Kesarimal Porwal of Arts and Science and Commerce, Kamptee, Dr. S.C. Gulhane, Prerna College of Commerce, Science and Arts, Nagpur, Mahatma Gandhi College, Parseoni, Ravindranath Tagore College, Dongargaon, and Orange City Institute of Management, Nagpur. On behalf of the cluster institutions, I, Dr. Meenakshi Vasik, take this opportunity to welcome the organizers and the principals of the cluster institutions, Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, Dr. Vinay Chauhan Sir, Dr. Pravin Joshi Sir, Dr. Lokchand Jadhav Sir, Dr. Jayantam Reddiwal Sir, and Dr. Anil Sharma Sir at this glorious event. I heartily welcome the coordinators, Professor Renuka Roy, Mrs. Snehal Rakunde, Professor Pramod Gorde, Mr. Nasir Pathan, and Dr. Rajni Kumar in today's session. We are highly elated to have the mastermind behind this exclusive soft skill short term course, Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, who leaves no stone unturned to take care of the students' holistic development. I request Dr. Usha Sakure Madam to address our dear participants with your valuable guidance. Over to Madam.
Thank you, dear Meenakshi. And it gives me immense pleasure today to address you all at the valedictory session of today's much awaited flagship initiative, Imprint, the 30-hour online soft skill program. What began 5 years ago as a modest endeavor has now become a hallmark of excellence and consistency, anticipated eagerly by the students across the regions. This year, too, we have brought together a galaxy of the finest resource persons from the university, stalwarts in their respective domains, who curated and delivered sessions marked by depth, clarity, dedication, and hard work reflected in each student's expression on every participant. What makes Imprint unique is our college's unwavering commitment to quality education beyond boundaries. Through strategic collaborations with other forward-thinking institutions, we have created a robust academic ecosystem that not only reaches urban learners but also touches lives in the remotest Mofussil areas. This inclusive approach of geography with the tools to succeed in the real world to empower every student is important. The benefits of this program is far-reaching, from effective communication and leadership skills to adaptability and emotional intelligence. Students have gained competencies that are essential in today's dynamic landscapes. More importantly, they have gained confidence, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. As we draw the curtain of this edition of Imprint, I express heartfelt gratitude to the organizing team, collaborating colleagues, and above all the participants for their enthusiasm, discipline, and curiosity. Let us carry forward the learning not as a conclusion but as the beginning, a foundation upon which greater personal and professional journeys will be built. So today we are going to have the valedictory session, and we have with us Shraddha Deshpande, who is going to deliver her address today. So this would be a valedictory note. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You have always been a constant source of inspiration to us, and we look forward to work under your able guidance in this student's progressive journey, ma'am. Thank you. So today we have with us a very magnanimous and a very hard-working person, Dr. Shraddha Deshpande, madam, as today's resource person. Hearty welcome to you, ma'am, in today's session. Let me take this opportunity to introduce to you to Dr. Shraddha Deshpande. Dr. Shraddha Deshpande is an associate professor and head department of English at Dharampet NPDO Memorial Science College, Nagpur. Madam has 18 years of teaching experience. She holds a prestigious position in her academic venture as a member of editorial board at Rashtrasanta Tukaroji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur, for her contribution of books prescribed for BSc. Madam is a certified counselor of life coach by Positive Wings Academy. She has counseled training workshop for teachers organized by PG Department of Psychology, RTMND, Nagpur. She is a soft skill trainer too. She has received Elite NPTEL online certification funded by the Ministry of HRD. Madam holds various administrative responsibilities in her college as well. She has to her credit many research papers and articles published in reputed journals. She is the recipient of the Best Paper Presentation Award at various conferences held in Nagpur. Madam is honored to be awarded as a soft skill development trainer level 1 by UGC Human Resource Development Center of RTMNU Nagpur. She has delivered several talks on topics related to communication skills and soft skills. Dear participants, there is a notable quote by Christopher Voss related to negotiation of career growth. He quotes, successful negotiation is not about getting to yes. It is about mastering no and understanding what the path to an agreement is. Unquote. This quote suggests that knowing when to say no is crucial for securing favorable terms. Nevertheless, effective negotiation involves understanding your needs and communicating your values while remaining flexible. Today, Dr. Shraddha Deshpande, the resource person of today's session, will guide us on the very interesting topic, the art of negotiation for career growth. So, without much wasting of time, I invite Dr. Shraddha Deshpande ma'am to guide our participant with her insightful presentation. Over to Shraddha madam.
Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. At the outset, a very good morning to everyone present here. And I would like to thank Dr. Usha Sakure ma'am and all the collaborating colleges for inviting me to share my views on the art of negotiation for career growth. I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute. I hope the screen is visible, ma'am.
Perfectly, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah. So, yes, let us begin with the topic, the art of negotiation for career growth. Let us first understand the basic concept between negotiation and communications. At times, people get confused with these two terms and they find that these two terms are quite similar. However, let us find what is the difference. Here it says, the screen says, negotiation is a dialogue between two or more people or parties intended to reach an understanding and resolve points of difference. So try to understand. I'm focusing on these two aspects, reach and understanding and resolve points of difference, where these two things need time to resolve, time to understand, and as well as some kind of strategies to have these two outcomes that can be done through negotiation. However, communication skills is a quite a very simple and basic concept where it is only the ability to convey convey information to another person effectively and efficiently. So communication is just a way of negotiation. That is how you can put it. Now let us understand why negotiation is important for your career growth. Coming directly to the point, first let us understand why we are talking when we are talking about education industry. Here we are talking about teaching, why we feel today that negotiation is important in education sector as well. The very basic concept of teaching in the olden days was to come and teach, to value the papers, give results. That was the basic concept of teaching. But the idea of education has changed dramatically in this particular era, and that is why not on the word negotiation tends to conjure big formal movements only for the business sector, but also at the education sector, where you contract discussions, you have some compensation packages to deal with, and some deals brokered in boardrooms. Yes, there are certain deals that happen in education sector where teachers have to work on certain projects, and not only work on certain projects but they have to make those projects successful. At the same time, when looking at the broader picture, these are the things that you have to consider. However, at a very basic level, the negotiation includes asking for more time on a deliverable. In the sense, if you're working on a project, you are working on a particular aspect, on a particular small task, there you have to negotiate with your boss, or with your subordinate, or even at times with your peers, asking for more time, aligning priorities across team. You have to work within the teams in an organization, or making the case for additional headcount. So you may need more people when working on a particular task. So these are very small tasks where negotiation needs strategies and time to work on to get the required outcome. Recognizing these daily moments as opportunities opens the door to continuous skill development. So these understanding that working on these small deals is an negotiation opportunity for you. It enhances your communication skills, it enhances your confidence. If you're trying to move a project forward in a way benefits both you and your counterpart, you are negotiating. There is a lot of give and take in the process, whether or not you call it that. And the very basic approaches, it should be a two-way communication throughout the process. Now, because as I said, it is a very strategic and time consuming process, and it needs more people to get involved. You have to work through a team before you enter any negotiation. Why it is important? Whether it's a normal sit down, you have to, even if you have to discuss a particular timetable, because I am focusing on the education sector about teachers, I would take these examples more. Whether it's a formal sit down or an impromptu conversation, we have to organize a particular event, or we want to take up an exam. So at those moments also, you have to come, sit down and discuss about certain things. So you have to outline these three key boundaries when you're working within the team. What happens if you don't ask, or if your request is denied? Sometimes it happens that you are in a meeting, and your proposals or your discussions, your opinions are not asked, they are not matters. What will happen then? Minimum, what's the least you can say yes to and still feel good about it? At certain times during your negotiation within the team, you have to say yes, or you have to say no, or sometimes you have to keep neutral. So at that particular moment, you have to think what to do. And of course, stretching goals. What does a great outcome look like? As I already have spoken to you about, these small tasks are also a part of a negotiation process. So what is the basic outcome of any kind of a small meeting or a discussion? Not just for you, but for the project, the team, and the organization at a very whole level. Clear guidepost can help professionals more beyond people pleasing and toward results driven communication. We all know that we are in a rat race, because this sector is not a very is not a very traditional sector anymore. There are timelines, there are tasks, there are lot of challenges, um, there are a lot of innovations that are going in this sector. So it is very important that when you come and sit together, those discussions and those meetings should not waste your time. The the task should be towards result driven communication. Now, this Neil emphasizes outcomes over harmony. Preparation sets the stage for better timelines, smarter collaboration, and sustained momentum. If you know how to talk, where to talk, what not to talk, this really helps you in saving your time and getting your goals in a very stipulated time with a good team management. And here the tip is, don't stop at what you want. Think what success would like for everyone involved, because we are talking in terms of team, we are talking about collaboration. So it is very important that you are not only thinking about your own small task, but a task at a very broader level. Now when you are again, why it is important that we should be prepared when we are talking about a particular matter, but then how we should say it, why we should say it, why there should be some reasoning of our opinions and views. I just give a very small example, a day to day example. We often hesitate in talking with others or putting our opinions and views of what we need because we fear of judgment. People might say that the person is very judgmental. They can make opinions about us, and there might be a conflict because of these kinds of biases and prejudices towards us. Or even at times we are feared of rejection. What if my idea is rejected? A lot of rejections may lose your confidence. However, it the way you say it, the way you reason it, the way you justify your points is very important during negotiation. A very small and basic example is given here.
Ice cream, ice
In the study, strangers were asked to let someone cut in
Hello,
a
Yamuna
line at
madam.
a copy machine.
Please
So
off your
basically,
video. Hello, Yamuna madam. Hello. One
yeah.
second, ma'am. Hello, I request Dr. Yamuna ma'am to please. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So in the study, strangers were asked to let someone cut in a line at a copy machine using one of three approaches. Simple. Basically, a person wanted to have a photocopy of a particular page. So the first example here is, may I use the copy machine? Here, the person is only asking or requesting to have a photocopy. There is no explanation, no reasoning behind his question. The second question, the same thing is with the clear reason. May I use the copy machine because I am in a rush? Now, here, the first part is what you want, and the second part is why you want. The reason here is very, very clear. In that case, probably the answer the person would get is a clear yes. And the third is asking with a nonsensical reason. May I use the copy machine because I need to make copies? Obviously, you when you are using a machine, it is very obvious because you need copies. You are asking for the to use the machine. So justification of your idea, justification of your goal is very important while negotiation, and that is why even a weak explanation can nudge people towards it. But yes, the best results can come when your reasoning aligns with their interest. If you're putting a proposal in front of your boss, your colleague, or a peer, or your subordinate, it is very important that why you are asking for a particular thing and what do you want in your outcome. If your reasoning is absolutely aligning with the interest of the other person, or with your own particular goal, reaching your goal, probably the the conflicts or the friction between you and the other people, if there are some unavoidable reasons where the other person might say no, things might turn up in yours on your side. When you combine a direct ask with a thoughtful rationale, you are not just advocating for yourself, you are helping them understand how your request serves a shared goal. Now, for example, I'm just this is a copy machine example. You want to have copies for your question papers from the exam department. Here you can definitely say that I use the copy machine because I want to print the question papers for the coming exam. Now, this coming college exam might be a very shared goal on a very broader level, where exams are conducted for the college on the college level, and it is a shared goal between you and the other person. So this is how you have to have a very clear communication, giving justifications, and telling that my goal and your goal are aligning. That is how you can get some approvals. Now, when why it is important to have a communication through negotiate in packages, not in pieces. When you are working on a particular task, or you are in need of a particular thing, there may be a list of things that you might want, you might negotiate, you might require. Building related issues into multivariable proposals. Because we are saying that we are dealing with things, it is a time consuming process. It means that there may be many things at a time that we might need and we might ask for. For example, instead of negotiating one element at a time, can I get more budget followed later by? Can we extend the timeline? Now, for example, you are working on a particular event, a particular program in your college, and there is a certain kind of provision for a budget that is given for you. And again, you need an extended timeline because it is not possible for you to work in that timeline. So instead of going and talking to your bosses directly on one particular subject, why not have a list of all the things that you want to ask for? And that will building allows for trades off, minimize fatigue from repeated tasks, and signal strategic thinking. Basically, what it means is every time going to your boss, it might hamper his time, energy for that particular task. Why not make a list that lessens the fatigue? Because repeatedly you are going and asking for those things, those small petty things, it might hamper the time. It might waste your time, your and your boss time. So why not make a list, put it in one shot, and then negotiate on all those two to three things at one time. It also shows the last point, that is signal strategic thinking. It also shows how carefully you are planning a particular event, what are the problems you are facing during the planning and organization, and then how you're sorting it out in a particular step by step manner. So you're not randomly doing anything, you're strategically planning certain things and strategically finding solutions for it. The approach proves especially useful when situations then offer trigger what's commonly called scope creep. I am going to talk about the scope creep in the next slide. But bundling proposals this way has a multiple benefits. What happens? Creates more opportunities for mutual gain. Of course, when you're talking about this particular these kinds of queries, you're not only helping your own self, you're helping the teammates as well. So it is a mutual gain for yourself, for the teammate, as well as the person who is superior to you, because he is relying on you for a particular task. So when you tell the person that these are the things that we need to work on and we need some time, that is a mutual gain for for your superior as well, because it will give very less chances of committing mistakes. Reduces back and forth friction. As I told you, every time going and complaining every one day after another, it might create friction between you and your subordinates or bosses. Why not, instead of going straight and having a clear plan in your mind? Signal strategic thinking, I have already talked about it, avoids the piecemeal drain of constant renegotiation. So there is every time you go, there is a lot of negativity that is surrounded when we basically we talk about a little complaint, or we have certain issues. There is a little negativity that adds to our work. So instead of adding or draining yourself and your your subordinate with these kinds of small negative inputs, this kind of a drain, step by strain, is reduced. And then you can sit together, have a very core special meeting, and work on each and every details in detail, and at one time you can find solution for all these problems. Limit each bundle to two or three items to keep negotiations focused. Once agreements forms, revisit the larger picture to ensure alignment. Now, this is scope creep, where you know that you have come up with a project, you have made a proposal, you find that proposal is very successful, but when you land up working on that particular proposal, you find that there is a lot of cost and time is involved. It is increasing because certain 11th hour work are added to it. The cost is increasing, the time is increasing, and we have less efforts because we have less number of people as a team. We have less resources, we have, and the things are going out of control. So to control all these things at one time, why not negotiate with your person, uh, focused on all the problems at one time? Influence without authority. Lack of formal power doesn't block progress. It calls for sharper negotiation skills. Yes, sometimes you feel that I'm not very good at communication skills. I'm not very good at negotiation skills. I'm not an expert of those skills. So I will not work on any particular project. But nowadays, it's not possible. Even if you don't have a very formal education or a formal way of presentation your things, professional reading across departments, managing up or navigating flat hierarchies, must learn to influence without control. Sometimes you have to, even if you don't have those skills, you have to go, take a leap and start negotiating, because that is the first step for removing your fear and improving your confidence towards achieving a particular your desired goal. To build that influence, link your proposals to team or organizational goals. Again, as I told you, very simple things. You need not be very, very professional or formal in this case. You can just say that I am, for example, I'll tell you, I am having a communication skills course by English department. The English department is conducting the communication skills course for students of final years. Now, this is a departmental activity that is aligned with the I would say that the communication skills course might help the students to prepare for their competitive exams, for their interview skills, GDPI, and for their placements. So this is a very simple way of putting your point across, where no such formal kind of training is needed. Acknowledge the priorities and pressures others face. You have to show that how important this particular task is for you and for your organization. Offer trades off or creative solutions that reduces obstacles. Now, what are these trade-offs? Trade-offs mean you leave something to gain something. That is a trade-off. So you can say that, okay, we can have one thing at, even if we miss this thing, we are getting another thing in that case. Or creative solutions. Now creativity is also is a very natural thing, and if you are creative, not very skilled, but you can put your you can put your creativity or creative ideas in front of your bosses, and you can get things done through a proper unskilled negotiation techniques. There are always constraints, she said, but for smart creative proposals that improve the work, people often find the resources. Don't eliminate yourself before the conversation starts, because you feel that you are not trained, you're not very skilled in talking with others. These are the basic things. I know that this is all the formal communications. If you remember, if you really feel that even at our house, in our personal relations also, we negotiate all the time with our family members, our friends. In that is a quite unskilled negotiation skills. So you can use those skills, you can use those you can use those ideas to start your negotiation, to have your task done. Now, negotiation skills and leadership skills. Developing these skills doesn't require a new job title. As I told you, even if you are a new person who have joined the organization, you can still take up some responsibilities, where you can say that, okay, let me lead this project, and I can take this deal and I can negotiate with the other person. It starts with clarity, intentions, and the courage to speak. As I told you, there is no need to have a very, it's always good to have training in such skills, but even if you don't have, at a very initial stage also, you can take up small responsibilities, small jobs. But when you're talking, if you're presenting or proposing a small task, you should have a clarity why you are doing it. Again, intentions, that it will help, it will be the benefit of your and the organization goals, and of course a little courage to speak up for your project. If you're looking to improve your team's performance or gain traction on a stalled initiative, Neil's advice is simple but transformative. You need a little bit of transformation within yourself. You have to have that little bit of um, kickstart, where you have to have only these three ideas with a simple idea to work on, and you can improve, you can develop your negotiation skills. If you don't ask, this is a very important point uh, which is presented here, is if you don't ask, you already know the answer. Of course, if you don't ask, you are not going to get it. It might happen that if you ask, then also you won't get it, but at least asking one time and asking 100 times, somewhere that may lead uh, to getting your results someday. So if you don't ask, you already know the answer that you are not going to get it. Now, what are the five? Quickly, I'll share these five takeaways. You have to, while doing these things, you have to reframe your negotiations, shift your perspective from battles to collaborative problem solving. See, for every, nobody wants a negativity in their aura. So when you are going for a negotiation, when you are going for discussions, your shift should be for collaborative problem solving. Your shift should be, your focus should be on the positive aspects rather than going and complaining, because it might happen that your image in front of your bosses and subordinates can be created as a very negative person. People may not entertain you, people may not invite you, they may not involve you in any task further. So if you want if you want to improve your negotiation skills, and if you feel that yes, I'm a person who used to always complain about certain things, let us shift my goal towards making it towards a very positive and collaborative problem solving initiative. Clarify your boundaries, know your goal, and understand what you can and cannot accommodate. Of course, it's not always that saying yes works. Sometimes if it is not possible for you during your discussion, you find that these are your limitations, these are your boundaries. For that, you need to do, everyone needs to do SWOT analysis. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, opportunities and challenges? If you do regular SWOT analysis of your own self, you will understand that you can work on a very you can work on certain things and you cannot work on certain things.
मैम आपका माइक बंद हो गया है।
Ma'am, your mic is off.
हेलो।
Shraddha ma'am, you're muted. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, am I
Hello?
audible now?
Yes, yes, now you
From
are.
which slide shall I? Do you want me to repeat any slide just in case?
Slide, you need to reshare again, I think.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Okay,
Just a minute.
yeah. You were on the slide of takeaways. Yeah,
Takeaways. Yeah, I'm.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll start with leverage expectations. Use the first advocacy effect to influence how your counterpart frames the conversation. So it is when you are talking with the other person, it is also equally important to understand what is your counterpart is expecting from you, and you shouldn't go randomly and speak on your idea. You should first understand if it can be feasible, if it can be accommodative, if it can be entertained. You have to understand certain things before going to talk about your idea. Justify your requests. Pair the power of the ask with clear relevant justifications to increase support. We have already talked about how to justify your request, be it a small one or a big one. Package your proposal, that is also we have already covered. Aim for multi-issue agreements to expand resources and improve how they are allocated. So instead of talking on a one single particular problem or a particular what you can say issue, why not list it down, talk about it at once, and sort it out to save your time and energy. Now how you have to do it, how why we have seen why negotiations in these particular way, I mean in this sector, is also equally important, but how to negotiate, that is also a very big question. And now let us work on that. Figuring out what you want. Unless you don't know what you are going to talk about, what you are going to ask for, or what you are going to offer, there is no use of making a proposal. So either you, because we are talking about a very formal way of working on the proposals, you have to make a list. Even if you are negotiating for a very small task, there is no need to write. The things should be in your mind. These are the things I need to talk today. These are the things I need to discuss. So you should have those clear goals, your wants in your mind or on the list. Set your priorities ahead of time. If you have a list of 3 to 4 things you need to discuss, then you have to also discuss about what is the first thing that I need to talk. You have to prioritize. Otherwise it happens that which is the most trivial thing you talk in the very first step. Don't do that. Make a priority of what is the first thing you need to talk, so that it gives that this is the most important thing we need to discuss at a very present time. Clear goals and prepare to adjust your expectations during this give and take process, because the time is less. Sometimes the time is less. In that speculated time, you have to discuss many things. So listing, prioritizing, and then discussing will help you in good negotiation deals. Of course, this is a very common thing when it comes to goals. Your goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. I want to organize a particular event. I want to have this event for these particular students. I want that we what are the outcomes of the events? Is it relevant to the present teaching? What you can say, the scenario, is it relevant to today's teaching learning process? And of course, when what is the time frame of this particular organization? If you work on these these goals, probably you are very clear in your thought, and with this clear thought you go to talk to your boss. I don't think so. If it is feasible, your proposal will be rejected. Research, doing your research. So as I told you, you are going to deal, you are going to have a lot of deals, discussions, and proposals. Even at times, if you want your project to be successful, first have a research on that project. As I told you, you should not go blindly with any proposal, because everyone else is proposing something, everyone else is giving it. It is given by your boss that everyone should give a proposal. It is compulsory, some or the other project, and because of that, you are also proposing something. You are also putting up a project. That won't help. You will have to understand what is the reason behind giving the proposal. So you'll have to understand what is, you have to find out why my proposal can be accepted. You can have certain surveys, certain observations, certain case studies. Have your homework, have your research on that proposal, work on that. That is a very primary and preparation that you do. How much time you are going to have, which place you are going to work on, what is the context of your proposal. And of course, if your project needs, or your discussion needs some current market data, you can present that data as well, so that your proposal, the negotiation becomes very easy when it comes everything in writing. Because your data, your numbers, your case studies, your success stories have done half of the thing, and the rest of the thing you just need to discuss on few issues. So if you are properly researched on a particular topic, I think the success rate of your projects get 50% on the proposal itself, because of your research that you have done. Focus on the value you bring. Now, when an employer employs a person, there are certain ideas behind this kind of recruitment. The person is expecting something from you. As I told you, I will be focusing on education sector here. Initially we were supposed to teach, teaching and teaching. But in this particular era, in 21st century, teachers are also expected to do, they're hired for reasons such as teaching, organizing, innovation and management, and many more. I would say I've just jotted down few important ones, those I felt that they are focusing on. So they're expected to do 3 to 4 things at a time. And so when you are talking about a particular project, you are talking about a particular task, and if you're not focused on that task, what you want to do, it your employee might feel that sorry, your employer might feel that this person is a baseless person, and he might regret hiring you. So there are two kinds of regulatory, I mean, two kinds of focuses. Today I'm going to talk about this: promotion focused, prevention focused. Certain people are hired, they get a job, and they sit still, they do nothing. They don't want to take any risk, they don't want to grow, they don't want to, they're happy with what is their current situation. And they feel that getting a job itself is a big victory, and they don't need to do anything. However, this is not, and that is why they are very prevention focused. They don't want rejections, they don't want risk, they don't want challenges, and so they don't do anything. They prevent doing such things, and they don't take a risk. Those are prevention focused. However, promotion focused people are the opposite of that. They want promotions, they want growth, they want progress of not only themselves, also of the organization. So their goals and organization goals are aligned. So when however, prevention focused cannot work in these days, because there are appraisals, there are promotions based on your point systems, how much work you do. Otherwise you are not promoted. So again, I'm telling you, in this 21st century, if you don't do anything, if you don't ask for anything, if you are not working on anything for your career growth, you are not going to go further, you are not going to get anything by sitting and doing nothing. So let us all become promotion focused. And when you are promotion focused, automatically you will know how to talk to people, what to talk to people, and why to talk to people. Build your case with a list of your unique transferable skills. You have to show the other person while negotiating that yes, I am good at doing these things. If you are good in creativity, if you are good in innovation, if you are good in digital world, you can offer your what you can say skills for those particular tasks that can be used in the organization. As I told you, you are good in creativity and digital thing, you can ask that I can handle the social media of my organization. In that case, your employer may find a reason that yes, this is what I wanted and this is what this person can do. Industry experience, accolades, whichever experiences you have, you can share with you have to, as I told you, you have to be promotion focused. When you are promotion focused, you have to tell what kind of experiences you had in past, what kind of skills you have, and what kind of future planning you have for the organization and yourself. Leadership and collaboration capabilities, if you have, there will be a list of things that you can pick up from what good you are at, and you can present yourself. That will show that that will focus on the value you bring to the organization. Practicing and role playing before you negotiate. Of course, as I told you, that is not so simple. Even if it is not difficult thing. However, if you practice talking to people, because you are in a formal context, you're not talking to your mother, father, or siblings or friends. Here we are talking about formal conversation, formal negotiations. So in that case, if you practice role playing, if you know your points, you know what you're going to talk, you know why you are going to talk, if you are prepared on that, and if you are prepared about what the other person is also would ask for, would question me, or would have doubts about, if you know both the sides and if you practice doing that, probably that will build your confidence. You can have a very role play sessions with your peers or with your subordinates. Even if you can take guidance from your seniors, like how to negotiate, how to talk, if this question will ask, what should I answer. This is also, you can take guidance of your seniors as well in this. What will happen if your role when you are entering a particular cabin of your boss is not clear? Stress within a single role. You don't know what is your role, and you have just gone. Others are going, you are also going. And if you are asked, manager, mentor, supervisor, there's a single role, stress within a single role. You don't know what to do. You're not very clear because you're appointed for that particular thing. That's all. Nothing, there's no clear idea. That may create conflict. Then role conflict, role strain. You may get stressed that now everything will be given to me and how will I do it. So that may create a problem. Then you have multiple roles at the time. You are working as a director. This is a different example. Business owner, parent. Here you might be a convener of different teams. You can be a criteria head of different criterias, heads of different committees, and then you have so many things at a time, and then you don't know why exactly am I here. So there is no there is a lot of role conflict. You don't know what should I do, what kind of role I'm going to play in this negotiation part. There's a clash between two or more roles. Be quite clear in this particular thing. And volunteer, limited role description, unwritten expectations. You are asked, you are sitting, you are negotiating about a particular project, and what to do, what not to do. Is it feasible? Shall we do it? Will this project or will this program be successful? Is there any need? And when you don't know about it in advance, what you are going to do in that particular discussion, uh, I don't think so you can give any kind of input from your side. And confused role requirements. So why not clear all these things and go back to this practicing role playing through negotiations where your points and the counterpoints are quite clear in your mind. Be humble, assertive, and practical rather than um, ask ask rather than demand. So when you are it at times it may happen that you are working with your subordinates, you are working with your peers, you are working with your people who are under you in hierarchy. It doesn't mean that you are a leader and you need to give orders. There should be a quality of negotiating in that particular process where you respect the other person's perspective as well. That is called a two-way communication. Just because you are on the higher side, or you may not be on the higher side, but you have certain points to project, certain points to put, you have to understand in a meeting, in a discussion, you have to take when each one's perspective, you have to understand, you have to take decision is later part, but at a very initial level you have to give chance to each and every person when you are negotiating with people. In take a fact driven approach. Fact driven, there are certain practical issues that you don't know, maybe the other person is trying to tell you. So you have to understand that there may be certain limitations, there may be certain facts that while putting this idea in your mind, you didn't know, but they have come across, someone has put up. You have to understand their perspectives as well, because that is ultimately going to help the success of the project. Review your job description and consider anything extra you have done outside of your list of responsibilities. So it's not always that because you are hired to a particular person or because you are the head of the project, whatever is you say will always be correct. It is not possible. So why not? You have to review your job description. If you are the leader, but sometimes the other person is trying to tell you, no, this is not feasible. Let us change this. You have to change your job description. You are a leader, but a leader with a person who is giving equal opportunities to your subordinates. Asking over demanding facilities fa- uh, Asking over demanding facilitates a conversation which more often than not results in positive results. This is my favorite image here, where one person on one side sees number 6 and the other sees number 9. The very simplest image that can show that how perspectives can be different and correct at the same time. Listening skills, of course, demonstrative active listening skills. As I told you, there is a two-way communication, and it has to be like discussions, more of teamwork, collaborative work, problem solving. So it is not only talking and talking, the other side is listening. What happens is most of the success depends on how well we are collaborating within our team members. If you ignore first three, you can see, if you ignore other person's because other person's opinions and views, if you are pretending that okay, I'm listening to you but I'll not work on it, or even selective listening, it might hamper the success of your project. It will be a very two side, it will be a very one sided, and it may have many loopholes that will not be solved because you are the only person who is working for that project. If you're ignoring, pretending, and selective listening. However, if you're attentively listening to all the teammates, to every person who is involved in that project, active listening within one's own field of experience give you an opportunity to understand the broader prospects of the success of the project. Empathetic listening, as we have seen, understanding perspective of others. For example, you are planning to have a particular program on a particular day, and there are 5 team members in your group, and one of the team members says that no, I am on leave on that day because I'm going to have a very important work, I will not be available on that day. And if it is possible, if you if it is possible, you can change the date of your program. You can understand the other person is not available. One thing, this is what you can do, you can change the date. Second thing you can do is, if you cannot change the date, at least you can say that you can accommodate his problem. You can say, till this date you work, after on that date, even if you don't work, to we are here to have a collaborative association. So this is empathetic listening, active listening within others field of experience. As I told you, you have to have a problem solving perspective, problem solving uh, initiative, rather than creating problems. So the way you listen is also very important. Strategizing what to negotiate beyond salary. The salary is only one part of negotiation. There are so many things in day to day life that we have to continuously talk to many people, and from small tasks to cracking big deals. So be prepared to discuss topics that are important to you, such as signing or retention bonus, anything you have done extra, just in case. And if you feel that no, I should get an extra perks for this particular task, again go back to that slide. If you don't ask, probably you won't get. Ask, put your proposal in front, negotiate your proposal, tell them why you want this extra perks. All these things comes in mind. Flexible work schedule. If there are certain, because these are all the, probably these are all the things that even the teachers face, particularly after COVID. Flexible work schedule. There are certain cases where you say that I will do all my work, however, let me do it from home. Let me work one day extra, and the next day I want to have one 30 minutes break. This is, again, this is also negotiation. This is also negotiation. Unless you have, you give, offer something in return, or you this is how your skill will be very important to get success in small things as well. Remote versus hybrid or on-site work. That's also I told you. Sometimes you have to work remote. Sometimes you feel that today it's not possible for me to come on site. Wherever it is possible, of course, in certain cases, if it is possible, you can say that let me work at from home. The things will be done, my task will be completed, my work will be done, however, I just need to work from home. This is a small negotiation thing. Maternity, paternity leave, childcare and tuition reimbursements. So in certain cases it is already given, but in private sectors, maybe there are no such policies. But in certain cases you can negotiate, you can talk to your bosses and ask them for certain special leaves such as these. Your job title, upward mobility options. As I told you, if you think that you're good enough for um, progress, there are certain very fixed promotions. But if you feel that you are better than, uh, I mean, you are getting your regular promotions, however, your job roles are not getting promoted, in that case also you can put up your uniqueness, you can show your skills, you can tell what you can do better than others. Tell, that is, negotiate with your boss and tell him that in these cases you have additional skills, you can do more better work, you can help achieve organizational goals. This is how, if you put yourself, if you put these things on the table with your boss, probably your job title as what you have, if you are, for example, if you initially you had only one committee as a head, later on you, some more committees will be added, then in hierarchy you might go to the next level, and so on. And the scope of work you are performing, your scope of work you can broaden. You can say that no, I can, for these years I have been organizing small events, now I'm ready to organize one national seminar. I want to be the organizing secretary. Yes, I can do it. You can show on paper that I have organized 100 plus events as the head of the committee. I have worked on different things. I have worked in teams. I have these leadership qualities. I can generate resources. I can generate financial resources. I can generate other resources. I have all these qualities to be the organizing head of a big event. So you are broadening the scope of your work that you're performing. But for that, you will have to show, you will have to negotiate, you will have to tell. It takes time and strategies the way you put it. Ask for more than you want to give yourself some wiggle room, and it never hurts to start a bit. Patience, consistent efforts. Of course, as I told you, communication skills or communication is a very short term, sorry, a very short time process. You give information, and the information is received or it is not received. It is hardly, it really matters when you are dealing with the, when you need outcome for a particular task. But here, because it is time consuming, you need a lot of patience. Realizing the conversation doesn't have to end with the negotiated offer. It is not possible that every time you go to your boss, every time you go to a subordinate, and your ideas will be accepted. It's not possible, because I say that go and ask, otherwise you won't get. It doesn't mean that every time you go and ask you will get it. It's not possible. Some people describe this as a never take the first offer approach. You have to continuously work on that. You have to continuously keep pursuing your efforts for that task, and you have to show the other person that uh, how how keen I am to work on this particular project, because maybe at times the other person is testing you. एक बार आके आप बोल के चले गए, it doesn't, it doesn't sound very what you can say persuasive. So you will need a second round. How long until I get this reward? It's a beautiful image shown here is predictable reward timing. Serotonin has little effect on waiting. Serotonin is the happiness hormone, and this is something that we all feel, that what is the end product of our success is happiness. So if you wait for a little, if you don't have patience, you give up easily, then probably the serotonin will not be created. Serotonin is created, unpredictable reward timing. Serotonin has large effect on waiting. When you have patience, when you are consistently working on a particular task without giving up, I think this works for the success. Talent skills. This is why I've already discussed it. There's knowing your bargaining power. You should know that company has already invested you. What you can give to the company, what company can give you in the return, what do you want for yourself that will help in the company's progress as well. What are your talents? And in today's demand for skilled talent, workers are feeling empowered to speak up and ask for clarity. There is cutthroat competition. Everyone who is hired today rarely is sitting. I know very few of them are sitting and they have just got a job and they're happy with it. No, everyone, who should be looking for, what does it mean for them, what is it not. Every, from the employer to the employee and to the people who are connected with them, everyone is in that rat race. So unless you, in through your negotiation, you don't tell what are the skills, what are the talents you have, if you don't speak up for yourself, if you don't have clarity for yourself, the negotiation won't be successful. And that might, if you can speak up, that will show, that will surely lead you to the career growth. But if you don't speak up, if you don't talk for yourself, you will stay where you are. Leadership viewing rejection as an opportunity to learn. Yes, you will get rejections. You are going to get rejections. It is not a one time thing. You are uh, probably, I would say that rejections are more better than just getting at once. Leadership and assertiveness, which is an in-demand skill, is in the work. Everyone, most of them want to have these leadership roles. Even if you don't get what you ask for, it is likely the experience taught you something about yourself and the company. So nothing that you are doing or experiencing will give you. It's like you are going to learn something or the other from that particular experience, and about what you might do differently next time. If it doesn't work this time, you'll have to understand, you'll have to analyze, you'll have to think what went wrong, so that next time I will not do this. Next time I will try. So these are the learning parts through these rejection opportunities, all of which are positive outcomes and a step in your career journey. Whether you are just starting out in the middle of your career or near retirement, negotiating can be uncomfortable. Because things are changing. You might say that I have an experience of 18 years. Today I have an experience of 18 years. And now I am very good at everything and things will be a piece of cake for me. No, there might be certain things that I will have to learn in a different way to negotiate. So it's not easy for each one of us. At every stage of our life, we need to keep changing, we need to keep developing, learning new strategies and techniques of negotiations. Consider what matters most for your professional and personal life, and do your due diligence to negotiate these topics and issue. Of course, the outcomes are the art of negotiation can provide confidence as you develop your career. As I told you, the first thing is confidence. Confidence that you can do something, you can achieve something, and you are not stagnant at a particular point of your career. Earn your respect because your skill sets are developed, because you're improving your skill set. That will definitely attract people towards you, and they will start realizing that you are worth, and they will understand your worth in terms of success of your organization. Building relationships, because of course we live in a society. We need people to work together. We cannot work alone. It's not possible to work alone. Building relationships, having good human resource at your disposal will help you in giving proposals, working on proposals, getting success on those proposals, and later on adding an extra point for your career growth. Increase job satisfaction. If you are, of course, if you're good in negotiation, you can have if you have good negotiation skills, you can have leaves, you can have some salary hikes, you can have extra perks, you can have good leadership roles, you can win awards, appreciation, improve your company, and earn credibility in your career. In every point that I've read till now, it is going to earn credibility in your career. With this, I would like to end my lecture, and I thank all the organizers for inviting me here to discuss a few points on the art of negotiations for your career growth. Thank you, Sakura ma'am. Thank you, Vasnik ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Any questions from students' side? Please, you can unmute yourself and ask. Madam is there to satisfy your queries. Any questions?
Ma'am, today I'm getting late. Please, what is the mean by negotiation? Please repeat it only. I want.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. See, negotiation basically means there is a discussion between two or three people to get some kind of a desired outcome, either for understanding each other and resolving conflicts. Okay, it's a process where you understand each other. See, you need an outcome, you need a task. For that task, this is a negotiation is a skill where you understand each other, work together, resolve your conflicts, and get success in that particular task. So it takes time, it takes certain strategies, and it needs teamwork.
So, Rafia, you can go through the YouTube live. So, and you can access because you are late, so you can access through that. So, thank you, Rafia, for asking and satisfying your query. So,
Ma'am.
Madam, you offered a wonderful intellectual feast to our participants with your simplified style, with your high minded experience. So, your expressive and meticulously designed presentation with beautiful images explored various concepts of negotiation strategies for career growth like conflict resolution, scope creep in project management, role strain, conflict and ambiguity, negotiation skill and leadership skills, and many more such booster elements to imbibe the negotiation quality, which would really help our participants to keep themselves balanced and successful in their career growth. So, thank you very much, ma'am, once again. Now, I propose a formal vote of thanks. I extend a deep sense of gratitude to all the organizers of the cluster institutions for their incredible effort in organizing this amazing program. I place on a record to extend my sincere gratitude to today's resource person, Dr. Shraddha Deshpande Madam, for her expressive and meticulously designed presentation, for enriching and motivating our dear participants with her knowledgeable expertise and sharing your valuable time. Thank you once again, Madam. I extend my sincere thanks to our active coordinators for their splendid special task force to handle the program in a very diligent manner. Last, extend my heartfelt thankfulness to our dear participants for your patience listening and actively participating in this program. Dear participants, there is a saying, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So, looking forward to be connected with you in the new upcoming programs. So, I, Dr. Meenakshi Vasnik, with the present permission of the chair, do declare that the program is over. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable guidance. And thank you, the dear participant, for your patience listening. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.